Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron getting ready for Saturday's big game against the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna tell you what I am excited about that it's a Saturday game. And we talked about all the problems you get into if you're trying to watch a football game on Christmas Eve. For all the people who say, "Can't you guys just put sports behind you for one day?" Who cares? Those have those people in the family, and to say, you know what, this does kind of matter to us. This is a big deal. Josh and I have a relative who used to say to us all the time, in 20 years, no one's going to remember this game. And Josh and I would always go, we will remember this game. You don't understand. We'd never forget a game and how important it is. But it's the NFL. Understand the Chargers out of the playoff picture. At the same time, you want to see what the Chargers kind of look like the last three games. It is one of those where it's better for the Chargers if they lose these next three games. At the same time, their new head coach, Giff Smith, sounds ridiculous to say, is wants a win. There's no way he wants to go in and go 0-3 when he gets an opportunity to be head coach. Yeah, for me, guys, I'd be shocked if it's the same momentum and atmosphere change that the Raiders had when Antonio Pierce took over for Josh McDaniels. We're like, we're going to run through a wall for this guy. For the Chargers, I don't think there's any of that there. It's not that guy, not guy who has the story of being from Compton, the tough story as far as I made it. You can make it too. I have Super Bowl rings, all that stuff. There's nothing about a guy named Giff that makes it go, I'm going to run through a wall with that kind of name and that kind of personality. I'm sorry.
Well, the reason he was hired, John Spano said, was basically because he's been with the team the longest, not because, he has this great track record of being a, head coach, because he hasn't been, but he's been with the team for so long that it would make most sense to put him in that position. I don't care who the coach is as long as they get a great draft pick for next season, because that's really what we should be playing for. I'm not trying to get blown out by the Bills and the rest of these teams and be like, oh, well, it is what it is. I want them to be competitive, but I would like for them to lose, to be honest with you. And I know I've said in the past it's hard to root for your team to lose, and I'll probably end up rooting for them to win on Saturday. But at the end of the day, you want the team to lose. You need to get a great draft pick. You need to get a guy like Brock Bowers or Malik Neighbors to turn this thing around. And if you win these games, which they probably won't, then it doesn't help at all, because you're not going to make the playoffs.
You don't want to be Lovie Smith with the Houston Texans, right? Like, it's that last win, and you're like, all right, nice job. Why'd you do that? I said it looked out, but you don't want to be in that position. Yeah, I'm kind of in the boat of where, I don't really see like a huge change in this team. Like, how dead they looked against the Raiders, against a divisional opponent, doesn't make me think, oh yeah, they'll show up for the Buffalo Bills. Like, yeah, they're suddenly going to feel like they're, want to play, and they're going to be all in on playing in this game. No, it's not. They're not at all. Everyone's checked out. They got the trips to Cancun booked. They're thinking about what they got their kids for Christmas, and they're thinking about any last-second gifts they got ordered on Amazon right before it. Like, that's what these guys are on, and that's just how it is. I do wish, if you're going to suck fun. Like, suck, make it close. Do something fun, make it funny. Doing 63-0, something like that, that's just not fun. That's just like, this is really embarrassing. But be suck fun. And that can be interpreted a lot of different ways. So take that how you want, but be suck fun.
So when I look at this game, I'm with Josh. I will be rooting for the Chargers every single play, all the way till the clock hits 0. But at the same time, if they lose, I'm not going to be, completely heartbroken. That's not what I'm expecting for them to surprise the Bills, who, by the way, a few weeks ago were 6-6. They lost, like 3 in a row, like every other good team does. The Bills look like a different team. The Bills have played extremely well of late. Obviously, they had a big win just a week ago, and they know they need to keep winning. The Bills are looking at the playoffs, and they know they need to keep winning. They are not going to sit there and have one of those games where it's the Chargers and all of a sudden you sneak one by them. They're coming into LA thinking we're going to do what the Raiders did, but worse. We're a better team than the Raiders. They put up 63. We're going to put up 70. And for the Chargers, there are some things I want to see. I'll be honest with you. I'm rooting for Keenan Allen to come back and play. And I want to see Keenan Allen go ahead and keep catching the ball and setting records and do everything that Keenan's doing. There's certain guys on this team that I've turned into as far as individual where I want to see Khalil Mack get more sacks. I've never been that guy that roots for individual numbers, that the team wins what matters. But in reality, the draft coming up, as Josh just dropped a couple of names of guys that could possibly get to fix this problem, is something you should be excited about, because we are talking about next year in 2024 and what this team looks like. For the Chargers, I will say this, and just a little bit of talk about the draft. A lot of teams, of course, are always going to be looking for quarterbacks. The Chargers are in a position they will not be looking for a quarterback. So it's kind of like moving up in the draft for the best players. And Mario, I'm going to ask you because today you're in Indiana, but normally you're in Chicago when you do the show. There's a lot of talk coming out that the Chicago Bears, who have the Panthers pick, are not going to draft a quarterback in the first round. That all of a sudden Josh Fields is still the guy and they believe in him.
Justin.
Is that true? Is that true?
Justin Fields. Josh
Justin
Fields is a
Fields.
baseball player.
Looked
Yeah.
over at Josh. Justin said Josh. Sorry.
Yeah, Josh Fields, I don't know what that guy's up to, but hopefully he's having a good day. When it comes to Justin Fields, I think it's truly 50-50. I think how the season ends. Like, I think the people that are saying it's a done deal that Fields comes back next year, I think that's all smoke. That's all smoke and mirrors. Like that's just not true. I just highly doubt it. I think a lot comes down to, and it's stupid that it even does because the game's not going to matter because I don't think the Packers are going to make the playoffs. But I think that last game at Lambeau Field is going to really mean a lot. Whether teams are good or not, the Bears Packers game matters a lot to those two organizations and these cities. So I think if Fields goes out and balls out in that game, boom, I could make a strong argument. A lot of people will make strong arguments that he should be back for the next season in Chicago. He doesn't play good in that game. Let's say the Bears lose out. I think he's good as gone. I think right now it's 60-40 gone. If I had to give like kind of a percentage with Fields, just in terms of the guys up there in the front office, the way Fields played, I truly do think that they just want to say the right things now to give the input that they want to win right now. But I think when the season ends, Josh, I think they're going, yeah, we'll take Caleb Williams. And then we'll go see what the future is with him. Because I think we mentioned this on the show. Having Caleb Williams on a rookie contract versus having to extend Fields gives you a lot more flexibility for years to come.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing would be for the Bears, would you trade down if you're going to keep your quarterback so you can get more draft picks? Or would you just take the best player available that's not Caleb Williams? I don't understand what the Bears would do if they were to hang on to Justin Fields. I agree with you. I don't think it's clear cut that Justin Fields is with the Bears, but if you're going to stick with him, why would you not trade down? Or do you disagree with that, Mario?
No, I think to your point, if I'm the Bears, I'm making it seem like I'm going to take a quarterback in case, like, to your point, then you get the Patriots behind you going, well, we really like Caleb Williams. And you go, all right, then trade up with us. And then you go down one and you go number 2 spot and go, all right, we'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think that's a game you can play. So like going through the whole thing going, yeah, we're going to take a quarterback. We're going to take a quarterback. Get that kind of intrigue from the other teams that really, really need one and kind of do a similar thing you do with the Panthers and fall back to 2 or 3 and get Marvin Harrison Jr. I do think that you shouldn't go lower than 3 just because I think if you get lower than 3, then you miss out on high receiver value that you desperately need.
Looking at the Chargers, I mean, all of us love Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, and he will be there for the Chargers when it's their turn to pick. At the same time, the Chargers have so many holes on this roster as far as guys that need to step in and be starters right away. They could almost go anywhere, and we couldn't disagree of saying, do we needed an offensive lineman? We needed a corner. We needed a defensive lineman. They could almost go anywhere they wanted. We all think as fans, and I fall in this category too, the sexy pick is always a guy that scores touchdowns. If you get a guy that scores touchdowns, you're pumped up. If it's a cornerback, you're fine usually. When it's an offense or defensive lineman, especially if it's an interior defensive lineman, you kind of get a little bummed out, But in reality, those guys help you win games, and those guys are the guys on the offensive side that protect Justin Herbert. It's just a boring pick. It doesn't sell jerseys or season tickets.
It doesn't, and you can't miss on this pick. I think Zion Johnson, I'm not ready to give up on him or anything like that, but I would say that he hasn't lived up to the first round pick that he was, right? And Jerry Tillery, same thing. I know he's with the Raiders, but those are two guys that you'd say haven't lived up to being first round picks. Shocker, they both came from Notre Dame. That never happens. And the one guy you don't get from Notre Dame, and you didn't even have the opportunity to draft him, is Kyle Hamilton, who's an absolute stud for the Ravens. Anyways, Chargers are in a unique position where they could draft any single position in the first round, and you'd say, yeah, that makes sense. Besides quarterback, left tackle, and probably guard, because you don't want to give up on Zion Johnson or Jamari Sawyer yet. You could draft literally right tackle, linebacker, receiver, corner, and you'd be like, yeah, we need that. We desperately need that. Even running back, you don't want to do in the first round, but if there's somebody good enough you got in the first round, you're like, we need a running back. There's so many spots the Chargers need to fill that they could go in a lot of different directions. If I was the Chargers, I would consider dropping down and getting more picks because of that reason. There's so many holes to fill on this team. you wouldn't want to pigeonhole yourself to just one guy. But if you believe that one guy like Brock Bowers is that good, then go ahead and take him. I think there's a lot of different directions the Chargers can do on draft day.
I think that almost, I know some people are like, maybe that makes it harder to decide who you're going to take at first, but I think because there's so many different routes you can go, that almost makes it easier because you can just go the route of, we'll take the best player on the board, because you're like, all right, we need everything. So is the best player on the board a corner? Fantastic. We desperately need a corner. Is it an edge rusher? Fantastic. We need an edge rusher because we have two that are about to go into a nursing home. Like, you can go so many different routes and you go, all right, like, this is completely fine. We can just take the best guy available as long as it's not quarterbacks. We don't need a quarterback. And honestly, from the way it looks right now, besides, May, Daniels, and I would say Williams, like the rest of the guys seem like they're all kind of like on the same level of we don't really know what they're going to be type of quarterback. So I think as long as you go the route of let's just take the number one guy on the board and see where it takes us, I think the Chargers can be kind of in a very simple spot there, Dave, in that draft position. But who knows? They also drafted Quinn Johnston. But at least those guys are out. Maybe that was Johnny Boy's call. But, as far as we were supposed to tell, it was Tommy Boy. And Tommy Boy's out of here in Mexico enjoying a margarita right now. Maybe, assuming.
I don't know. I don't know if he's enjoying anything this holiday season. I think right now you've seen him walk down the street. He's kicking invisible cups, upset that basically he took the fall for the owner's son, who made a lot of bad decisions. It's funny you bring up Tom Telesco's name. I had a guy call me this week that's been around the NFL for a long time, and he's saying he thinks Tom Telesco, honestly, is a very good GM. And he says he will find a job in the near future. And you see Tom Telesco get an opportunity that doesn't have the owner's son with his thumb on him, that you're going to see a better version of Tom Telesco, that unfortunately he was the fall guy for this team, this league. And so overall, I don't know. I mean, I think we've all worked in situations, and whether it's us three or people who are listening to the show can say they've been in that situation where whether they had a boss or a superior that would make decisions, and then at some point you took the fall for them, and there's really nothing you could do about it. It's a horrible situation to be in. The difference is Tom Telesco is paid a lot better than all of us when those situations happen. And they stink. When you don't have control of your future and the decisions are made and everything bad happens, falls on you, it's not a good situation to be in. That being said, I'm not president of the Tom Telesco fan club. I'm not worried about Tom Telesco. We don't do a Tom Telesco show. We're worried about the Chargers and getting wins. What can they do to move forward? And moving forward, look, I'm not going to sit there and take credit for this show, meaning the three of us taking credit for this, but I'm going to take credit right now. We've been pushing this agenda for the longest time about coaching changes, GM changes, and how Jim Harbaugh has been the guy that you need to look at right now. Wins 70% of his games, has a relationship with the Spanos family, was a quarterback for the Chargers, coached at USD before he went to Stanford. USD, for the people who don't know, University of San Diego, has lived here in San Diego for a number of years. It's not a bad fit for him coming back to Southern California. At the same time, when he went up to the 49ers to win 70% of your games and to have success with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, two guys that are not considered elite quarterbacks, and look at the history of this league and win 70% of your games and go to a Super Bowl. And a lot of 49er fans will tell you they would have won that Super Bowl if it wasn't for that BS blackout that happened in the middle of the game and took all the momentum away from the Niners. He's a good coach. And guess what? The agenda that we've been pushing for the longest time, now everybody has jumped on this deal to the point where it has become a national story. And that, what do we say on the last show? Jim Harbaugh is going to be in Los Angeles, getting Michigan ready to face Alabama in the Rose Bowl. It's a 10-mile drive from SoFi to the Rose Bowl. And at some point, Harbaugh is going to have a conversation with the Spanos family. It is all over the place to the point where, guys, I'm so excited by it. The Spanos family really, I think, is in a situation, Josh, where they have to make an offer to Jim Harbaugh. If they don't make an offer to Jim Harbaugh, you completely are telling your fan base that we have given up, and the only thing we care about basically is that check the NFL sends us before the season starts for $436 million for having a TV contract and you're a partner with the 32 teams. Every team gets a check right now for $436 million to $437 million, whatever it rounds out to before the season even starts, because you're an owner, you're in the club. If you do not make an offer for Harbaugh, you are telling your fan base that you have zero interest in winning a Super Bowl. It is all about making money, and it doesn't matter. Let's save as much as we possibly can to put more in our pockets.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense to go with Jim Harbaugh. We talked about it last show, and the more I think about it, the more it makes more sense. If I could have 3 questions answered, Mario, by God himself, it would be: is there a heaven? I would love to know the answer to that question. Who killed JFK?
Yeah.
And the third question would be: how much involvement does John Spanos have to do with this Chargers team? Because that's one thing that nobody knows besides the people inside the building that I'm so curious about. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, and I'm talking to the Chargers about this position, I'm saying I would love to be the coach of the Chargers. This is a fantasy. I would love to be the coach of the Chargers, but I want that son that you have over there, John, to not be in my hair. I want to be able to do my job. I don't need him to tell me what to do. Daniel Popper of The Athletic, good friends with Mario, wrote an article about John Spanos and said that he was quoted as saying, "I don't want to be in the coach's hair. I would talk to Brandon Staley every single day about what's going on, but I would let him coach. I would talk to Tom Telesco every single day about what's going on, but I wouldn't tell him who to take off the waiver wire." I just don't buy that, Mario. And from everything I've heard from different places, I just do not buy that at all. And I know that's the right thing to say. And I think, Tom Telesco has been the fall guy for a lot of these things. But when John Spanos says, I just let the coaches coach and I just let the GM be the GM, there's not one part of me that says, yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah, no, not at all. Especially like when you have a constant talk with your head coach and like you're not just talking, hey, what'd you have for lunch today? Did you try the new coffee? Like, we got a new coffee machine. Did you like that? Like, you got oat milk. How crazy is that? Like, that doesn't happen. Like, no, it's about football. It's about the game you have coming up. It's about the players that you have on your team. It's about the scheme. Like, that's what it's about. It's not just a, hey, let me slap you on the ass, good job, and get the hell out of here. No, you're probably in there. You're talking a lot. You're having conversations about the upcoming matchup, about the season. Like that, I agree with you. I don't buy any of that crap. And I think when it comes to Harbaugh, this is from Jordan Schultz, who's the NFL insider for Bleacher Report. And, he was one like there's a clear interest in Harbaugh for the Chargers. They're going to pursue Harbaugh and all this stuff. And it's very clear that Michigan wants Harbaugh there. I think he said in his report, Michigan wants Harbaugh there forever. The like Coach Cal type of contract that they're really regretting right now for Kentucky. And thank the Lord, because screw Kentucky up yours. So that's like something that, the Los Angeles Chargers are going to have to rival a little bit, is that there's going to be a Michigan fan base that has a crap ton of money that, maybe unlike the Spanos family, is willing to go all in to kind of keep him there and keep success, because they love whooping Ohio State's ass and they love being in the college football playoffs. And right now, Harbaugh's doing both those things. If he wins the national championship, they're really going to go all in for it. But also to win the national championship, a lot of reports saying that means Harbaugh is going to want out even more because he's accomplished everything he's wanted to accomplish in college football. Like, let's also be honest. There's two kings in college football. There's Kirby Smart and there's Nick Saban. You might get one while they're up on top, but you're not getting two. So enjoy that one and then get the hell out. I think that's what Harbaugh is going to do. It'd be interesting to see what's going to happen, Dave, if Harbaugh does get the job. Because similar to your point, Josh, like I cannot see him liking the constant crap from John Spanos. Like I just can't see that at all. Him wanting that, and I guarantee you, he does not get that at Michigan. I bet they go, do whatever the hell you want. We'll handle the investigations for you.
Hold on.
That's exactly what goes on.
Hold on. Before Dave answers this, I'll answer this question first. Because I was lucky enough to be part of Alabama and see how it works. Nick Saban gets to do whatever he wants at all times. Jim Harbaugh gets to do whatever he wants at all times. There's not one person in the entire state of Michigan that tells Jim Harbaugh what to do. You think he's going to go to the Chargers and allow somebody to tell him what to do when it's John Spanos, a guy that has no history of winning?
Yeah.
It is such a difference, Mario, between being the man and then going over here to listening to the owner's son. That just cannot be part of this scenario. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Dave, but I had to say it. There's no way Jim Harbaugh is giving that up.
Right. 100% right. I don't care who you are. I mean, let's say you aren't even Jim Harbaugh. Let's say you're Brandon Staley. You think every time he sees that little short stack walk up to him and start talking and saying, hey, you're in control, but I got a conversation? Come on, man. He's like, beat it. He doesn't want to talk to him. Nobody wants to talk to their boss every day, especially about nothing. There's a reason you were hired to do your job. So don't walk over here and be passive aggressive and act like I'm making all the decisions when you're basically looking over my shoulder the entire time, standing on your phone books. I don't need it. You know what? Beat it already. Get out of here. And the problem is it hasn't worked under John. John's way doesn't work. So when he says I let them coach, if you let them coach, don't go out of your way to start a conversation. He has a list of things he wants to do throughout the day. Last thing he wants to do is talk to the owner's kid. I've never worked anywhere I wanted to spend part of my day talking to the owner's kid. Sorry, I'm sitting here to do a job, and that's the way it works. And even in this stupid business that we're in, we've all worked in radio, and nobody wants to sit there and have the program director walk up to you and say, hey, after the show, I want to talk to you, because you can't think about anything else but talking to that guy. What does he need to tell me? Or nothing worse than when they tell you on a Friday heading into a weekend or a 3-day weekend. Hey, I know we got the weekend coming up, but on Monday I need to talk to you first thing. You can't get that out of your head. There's nothing to think about except what the hell's that guy going to talk to me about? For him to do that every single day, to be in Tom Telesco's ear and Brandon Staley's ear, is absolutely ridiculous. That should be a 1 day a week conversation, and that should be the Monday after the game. And that is it. And you let those guys do their job. Jim Harbaugh's not going for that. I tell you what, and I don't know Jim Harbaugh for anything except when he was quarterback of the Chargers and interviewed him after games and during practice. The only thing I can tell you about Jim, he is a no BS guy. He has always been that guy. His brother John will tell you, and I've said it on the show before, he had no friends growing up. He doesn't care. To have that attitude of I don't care about anything except winning football games and figuring a way to beat you on a football field and get the most out of my players is exactly what this organization needs. So for John to step up and get into his face, dude, you know nothing except filling out deposit slips. You don't know anything. That's what you learned being your dad's son. Know what I learned? My dad was a football coach his entire life. When I was growing up, he was the head coach at Western Kentucky. And guess what, man? All we did was talk football. Then I was a quarterback in college. Then I was an NFL player. Then I was a college coach. Then I was an NFL coach. And my brother's an NFL coach. My dad still breaks down tape of my games and my brother's games and sends me his notes. And then we discuss how we're going to beat our next opponent. My whole life is football. That is it. My biggest problem was, do I go from khaki Dockers, which I used to do commercials for, or do I accept the Nike deal and wear their pants? That is it off the field. Otherwise, everything is about winning football games. John is not about winning football games. John is worried about having the same last name as his dad, and are we still getting that check from the NFL? That is an absolute joke, and if Jim comes in, things will change. I guarantee it.
All right. The way I look at this is, have you ever met a kid, right? You meet somebody when he's really young, and then you see him when he's an adult. And he's an adult now, but you always look at him as that kid because when you first met him, he was a kid. When Jim Harbaugh played for the Chargers, John Spanos was a seasonal assistant in the football operations department. That's what Jim Harbaugh probably knows him as, because that's what he was when he played for the Chargers. John Spanos, they asked him directly, which I love. I love that there's been so much pressure on John Spanos the last couple of weeks. I think it's great. He was asked, what is your role? How involved are you? And he says, I am very involved because of my background, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to work on the lowest level of the organization to where I am now. It helps me working with people. What does that even mean? Like, dude, you've been part of a bad organization since 1995. You think Jim Harbaugh is going to listen to you? The only thing Jim Harbaugh is going to change from what he did at Michigan was he's not going to wear cleats on the sideline. That's the only thing that's going to be different because the NFL is not going to allow that. But there's no way in hell Jim Harbaugh is listening to this guy. There's no way. I think it's the best thing that's come out of this whole situation between Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco is now the fingers are being pointed at John Spanos. I'll ask Dave, you've been following the Chargers for longer than I've been alive. Have you seen John Spanos ever catch this much heat, or is this new?
No, and I tell you what, I'm taking credit on this show again that we started this. And this is what I hope was going to happen when we started bringing it up. I'm not joking. That I was hoping people would start calling him out on the carpet for basically him being a terrible owner's son. Now, look, John is a guy, man, I've seen around for a long time, since high school, Josh. I started covering that team in 93, and then I talked to him right before he left for Wake Forest in 98. I remember August 1st, 1998, because it was a show we did on the field, the Chargers field. It was in front of all these season ticket holders, and it was Charger Fan Fest. Ton of Charger fans out there. Ryan Leaf's first practice. It went terrible for the Chargers. But I remember talking to Johnny, wishing him the best of luck at Wake Forest. Nice kid. Just got out of high school. When he said at the lowest level, don't give me the lowest level crap. Dude, I know where you parked. You parked right in front of the front door of the facility. I know what Mercedes you drove because I saw you get a new one every couple months. Don't tell me lowest level. You weren't selling Diet Cokes and walking up and down the bleachers. Come on, man. Don't give me that crap that it was a tough road and people didn't know who I was. You were the prince. You and your dumb brother were the princes of that organization, which his brother, by the way, has zero desire to do anything with football operations, supposed to be an accountant, which all the time people would say that worked in the building. They'd walk by his office and he was sleeping with his head on his shoulders on the desk. So, I mean, come on, who are we kidding? They have the job because of the last name. And again, as I sit there and I attack the family, and maybe it sounds like I'm a little bit unfair. This doesn't equal wins. That's where me being upset is. Okay. So when he says it at all levels of the organization, dude, it's tough being born at the top and staying at the top. That's where you've been your entire life. You've earned it because you have the last name. I got it. Life works that way. But when you affect an entire fan base by your bad decisions because you don't know when to get out of the way because you have a crazy ego, you're making a huge mistake. I'm sorry. It's been almost 30 years, and this organization has gone nowhere with John being involved. Having Jim come in and put him in his place is exactly what they need. And right now, there's so much media attention on this with Jim Harbaugh. This is the best thing to happen to the Charger fan base, because if they don't make an offer to Jim, or if the Raiders land him instead, or the Bears land him instead, why didn't the Chargers up the offer? You already let Sean Payton get out from under your grasp, and he was clear that the Charger job was the job he wanted. It didn't work, man. Another year of Brandon Staley was a waste of time. Man, it's tough to talk right now without swearing, because, man, I'm ready to go about 8 times. I just want to scream an F word in there. But it is tough, and the Chargers are being held accountable. So for us, bringing it to John's name up a lot in the last 6 weeks, and calling for heads and saying things have to change, I guarantee you, everyone in the Charger fan base that's listening right now agrees with us 100%. We do not care about anything except the scoreboard and a trophy case. That is all we care about. And I'm telling you, that's where you're at. And people started writing in our comments on YouTube, dude, I'm this age. I just want to see them win before I die. Just like we talked about on the last show. That's where these people are. Man, you have all stuck us with this whole bait and switch. I'm sorry. You got cool ass uniforms and you used to have a really cool offense when Dan Fouts was there. So anyone who watched this team in the 70s and 80s and they're stuck with this franchise, we got roped in. It sucks. It sucks being a fan of an NFL team that doesn't win Super Bowls. It's time to turn things around, starting in 3 weeks when Michigan's done playing football, or 2 weeks in this case.
Wow.
Mario.
Well,
That was good.
yeah, that was good. Take your blood pressure medicine. Let's make sure we keep that baby
I
down.
can say it. I do take blood pressure medicine. This goddamn team's gonna give me a stroke.
What I want to revisit, Josh, something that you said about how old he was when Harbaugh got there. That my mind went straight to Goodfellas when they're at the bar and the guy's like, "Yeah, you used to shine my shoes." I went straight to that, so that was like that scene replayed in my head for a little bit. But yeah, it's
You know what I think of, Mario? Mario, you know
What?
what I think of? You ever see the movie Road to Perdition with Paul Newman and Tom Hanks? You never saw it? It's a
No.
mafia movie. I thought for sure you'd seen it. In Chicago. How do you miss this one? Anyway,
All right,
Paul
what is it
Newman's
called?
the Road to Perdition. You got to see it. You'll like it. But Paul Newman is the guy that runs the mafia, and Tom Hanks is his right-hand guy, his number one hitman. But he has a dip-ass son who messes everything up. And that's the whole deal. It's
Classic.
always covering his dip-ass son's mistakes. That's exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Oh God, this
Look
is
it
a
up,
lot
dude.
of
You'll like
big
it.
name actors.
Big time,
Jeez,
dude.
I
You
know
got to
this-
see it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
All right, it's on the docket. But yeah, I mean, it's. What were you gonna say, Josh? You were about to say something.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll talk after you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think that's gonna be a big topic of discussion. I think honestly for John and just getting the hardball in, and I think it's gonna be kind of a tough thing for them to figure out, right? Like, I think more than ever right now, you need a big splash for a head coaching hire. Like a no-name guy's not going to do it. You need a splash, and with that splash comes less of you. Like less of you, and also to Staley's point, if you're meeting with this guy every single day, the pressure is going to mount, right? Like that pressure is going to mount of we got to win, we got to do something, we got to do this. Like that pressure is going to mount and become very heavy on your shoulders, where I think like you said, Dave, if it's just a meeting on Monday, how'd the game go? This is what's, we're needing right now. This is the direction of the team. This is the field in the locker room. That's a very fair, even, consistent meeting, but the constant communication, that constant thing, that's a lot for a head coach, man, especially for a first-time head coach that I think if you look through Say's career, Josh, like he kind of rose to power a little too quickly. And I think that eventually showed. And now we're sitting here with no head coach facing the Bills, who are about to, let's just say, murder us when it comes to Saturday night.
Do you want to get into picking the games, or do you want to keep going on the John Spanos stuff?
I'll go in on the Chargers Bills really quickly if you want to. Dave.
All right, go ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, all right. But all right, so we got the Buffalo Bills. Chargers are, let's just say, big underdogs from where everyone's thinking. Also, I've seen a lot of sharp bettors, by the way, taking the Chargers to cover this weekend. And
What's the
it's
spread?
led me to a couple 12.5.
Holy
Last time I
mackerel.
checked. Let me check that right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 12.5. I think that's why it's because it's like a pretty big spread. People are taking it, but I also think the Bills could take kind of a more conservative approach in saying James Cook had 25 attempts for 179 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the Cowboys. I think they're going to try to do that same thing against the Chargers, with the Chargers being one of the worst defenses in the NFL currently and not the best against the run right now, 18th in rushing yards allowed. I think they're going to try to like really enforce Cook in this one and just kind of make sure that, hey, if we can go back-to-back weeks where Josh Allen does not have to do a lot to win and keep us in the playoffs, that's going to sit us pretty nice in the playoff standings and give him a good rest for when we do need him to put on the Captain American shield, kind of lead us to the promised land, Dave.
That'd be, yeah. I mean, God, that point spread kind of took my breath away. I was shocked by that. I understand the Chargers gave up like whatever, 50, whatever it was the last game,
Yeah.
but at the same time, that's a lot. That's a lot of points right there. Thinking about this is the last Charger home game of the year, so the last home game for a lot of guys. I'm sure there are a lot of guys who are dressing out for the Chargers might think this is their last time they'll ever wear the Charger uniform. Is it the last time Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Austin Eckler, do they wear a Charger uniform in front of at SoFi Stadium? Is that the last time? My guess is yes. It's going to be the last time. At the same time, thanks for the memories of underachieving. That's kind of where I'm at as a fan. Derwin James, let's be honest, has had a terrible year. Has not played like the player we thought he was going to be, where I really would look in to see when I can get in a trade back for Derwin James. Maybe he'd play better for a team that would get him fired up to be in the right place at the right time. Austin Eckler 100% gone, and Khalil Mack, unfortunately, the Chargers wasted his greatness because he has been absolutely outstanding. It's completely surprised me. That's the one that will get away. Then I'll go, man, it was really cool having a Hall of Famer wearing that Charger uniform. It's a shame the Chargers didn't play well while he was here.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of sad seeing guys like Austin Eckler, say bye to the fans in that last home game. Mike Williams, he's not playing, but he might, he's going to be there. Going to be last time he might ever be there. Joey Bosa is going to say bye to the training tent where he spends most of his time. It's going to be really sad. So the 12.5 point spread.
I don't think
like
Joey's going to these games. Josh, honestly,
No,
you guys
off IR. He's off IR.
So,
okay. So is Aaron Rodgers.
Keenan Allen's also out, by the way. If no one saw that,
Keenan is out. I had a feeling his guy was going to be out. That's great. Fantastic. Thanks, Keenan. Fantasy football wise, at least give me something this year I could have cashed in on. I think I'm going against Josh in the semis.
Yeah, you are.
Damn.
I think 12.5 is kind of low. When you say Keenan Allen's not playing, you just lost by 42 points to the Raiders. I'm taking the Bills to cover. I know we're going to go later into this, but why would you not take the Bills? The Bills have to win this game. They're 8-6. They're right in the thick of the playoff hunt. The Chargers, they have a backup quarterback. Don't have the receiver, Joey Bosa. Is he playing? Is Joey Bosa actually going to play? Is that what you said?
No, he's just off IR. So they have like a window and activate him if they want to. But I doubt they will.
What a joke. Yeah, no. Yeah, Bills all the way.
Yeah.
There's no analysis for this game. Anybody that's going to waste their time listening to analysis of this game, you're a really big Charger fan. I salute you. I can't. I'm not going to tune into anybody giving me analysis of why the Chargers are going to put up a fight because I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
Yeah, Giff Smith. You run through a brick wall for Giff.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I feel like everyone in there is just going, let's just go collect our checks today. Let's collect our check and let's not get it. I feel like that.
They've been doing that all season.
Yeah. The only guy who doesn't do that's Khalil Mack. Everyone else does that every goddamn game.
And to your point, too,
$30 million a year is ridiculous. Hope
And
Joey
to your
gets a
point,
really cool 49ers sweatshirt for Christmas this year.
Yeah,
Enjoy it. Wear it in the playoffs.
autographed by Nick.
Guarantee you'll see him on the field after the Niners win the Super Bowl. Be the first time he's been on a field in 2 months.
But to
So
your
sick
point,
of that
I also
guy, dude.
I can tell. To your point too, I feel like the Bills are gonna want to get in and get out. So like if you want to, like if you're like, I think betting wise, if you don't want to take the 12.5, I feel like Bills first half could be like a really smart play. Like wouldn't you, if you saw McDermott, wouldn't you be like, hey, let's just go up by 24, and then at halftime it's 24-0, and then let all the backups play. And then if they score a touchdown, great. You know, the receivers can't catch the ball, so leave them open. Like I feel like that would be my strategy. Like, dude, let's just get in, get the hell out, enjoy the nice sun in LA, get ready for the cold winter in Buffalo, and get ready for our continuous playoff run.
Yeah, he'll probably tie it to Al Qaeda somehow, freak everybody out. But yeah, I agree with you. That's
Yeah,
probably his game plan.
true. He could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picks a click.
Yeah, let's pick him.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going Josh Allen.
The other team.
I'm going David guys with others. I'm going Josh Allen on the offense. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play that game. Josh, you going to play? I'm going to ask Josh's question because people who listen to the show, you got to follow Josh on Twitter. You and Josh Allen ran into each other recently in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna post the picture afterwards. Congratulations to my boy Josh Allen, big win tonight.
I probably will.
You do it all the time.
Super mad when I do that with Travis Kelce, but yeah, I probably will.
Dude,
Yeah,
you also have Peyton Manning. He has one of Peyton Manning that's hilarious. You have a couple of them. Gronk, Manning, Kelce.
Yeah, Gronk got mad at me when I asked him for a picture, but everybody else was cool about it. He called me a word I can't say on the show, but I got the picture anyway. Yeah, I'll probably post the picture with Josh Allen for sure.
Dude, that's
he's a likable guy.
Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Dude, here's the crazy thing, Mario. Josh was
good game.
Our Josh was the only one that recognized him. He was just sitting there and no one even bothered him.
That's my thing. It's the only thing I'm good at in this whole world is recognizing people.
All the time.
And football's hard. Football can be hard. Football's hard because they'll have ones all the time, and then unless they're like ginormous, you're like, oh shoot.
Yeah, my most impressive one. I'll pat myself on the back on this one. I was in the Seattle airport about 5 years ago, and everybody there looks the same. And if you know what I mean, if you've been to Seattle, you know exactly what I mean. And I'm going to the bathroom, and I walk out, and the most average-looking Caucasian man walks past me in like a split second. I'm like, that was John Stockton. I know it. And then I waited outside the bathroom like a freak and waited for him to come out. I was like, hey, man, can I get a picture? And he was shocked I knew who he was because he looked like every single person in that airport. And I got a picture of John Stockton. But that's my thing, Mario. Really good at recognizing.
It's a good trait to have.
Thank you.
It is. I would say when you Radio Row, which goes on during the Super Bowl, Josh is the guy to bring with you because there's celebrities everywhere, but nobody can recognize. No one can put the name to it. He knows everybody on the spot. Like he's great.
You want to hear an embarrassing Dave story? You want to hear embarrassing?
I was about to say I have embarrassing of my dad's story with famous people, and it's very funny. So
you go first. All right, Dave. Tell everybody who you wanted to talk to at Radio Row instead of the other person. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Lisa Ann? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So we're
who did
Radio
you
Row in
pass
San
up on?
Francisco. Emmett Smith. I think Emmett Smith.
You passed up Emmett Smith.
I think I passed on Emmett. Yeah, I think it was Emmett Smith or Jerry Rice. Like one of them I was like, "Hey, dude, beat it." And then and then I got Lisa Ann on. It was funny as hell. Yeah, I did get yeah.
That's
still
amazing.
Friends to this day. Still friends to this day. There you go.
That's so great. I'm also just picturing like Emmett Smith seeing that. Like seriously.
Oh yeah, we tell him beat it. Dude, after 5 days and all these Hall of Famers are walking by, you're like exhausted. I think the coolest guest we had that week was Ken Griffey Jr. sat down. He was a baseball player, and we're like, dude, you can sit down. And Ken Griffey Jr. Hung out with us for a while, but yeah, we like literally told Jerry Rice and Emmett Smith to beat it. Like we're enough. Too many guys. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me the story about your dad.
Greatest players in the 90s. Oh, so this one's is super Indiana related. So apologies for people, but the movie Hoosiers, as if you may know, it's a movie about small high school basketball team, whatever. Well, like the star actor in it, he was at the Pacer game we're at, and he gets stopped a lot because for people that don't know, that's like the Bible in Indiana, the Hoosier movie. So we see this guy, Yeah. It's very folktale-y, whatever. But we see this guy, and we're at the Pacer game, and I think I'm 11 at the time with my siblings and a couple friends. And we're like, oh my God, that's a guy from Hoosiers. And my dad's sitting there, and he just goes, oh, I think that's my fraternity brother, John. And we're like, that is not your fraternity brother, John. He goes, I think that's John. We're like, dude, that is not him. But he was so convinced. So we're getting like concession stand, and he goes, I haven't seen John in a while. I'm gonna go say hi to John. And like we go say hi to John. And he goes up to him, we can hear it. And he goes, hey, excuse me. And the guy, like, obviously very used to this to happen in Indiana, like turns around, puts on the celebrity face, like, oh, like, nice to meet you. And to hear my dad go, Kurt Herron, IU Phi-Psi. John, how we doing? It's me, Kurt. And the guy was like, no, wrong guy. And to see him go from celebrity face to really confused and go, I'm sorry, man. I think you're the wrong guy. Like, my apologies. I grew up in Kokomo. Like right in Indiana. So hey, it's my bad. Good to see you. And he walks back to us like, yeah, numb nuts. That was the guy from Hoosiers.
Dude, tonight, since you're in your dad's home right now, you should literally throw on Hoosiers. Right? You want to watch TV, Dad? And just throw Hoosiers on just to talk gas to him.
Remember the guy that got in a fight that threw the guy that got thrown in the trophy case? Yeah, it's your fraternity brother, John.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, just threw a lot of personal information out there about him, so hopefully he didn't care. But
yeah.
Oh, well. What are you going to do? Yeah.
What are you going to do? Yeah, I like how you finish every sentence with, what are you going to do?
Should we pick games?
Yes, it's my favorite part.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. NFL Week 16. Dave, can you inform the people of how we did last week?
We did really well. I did really well. Sorry. I went 10-6.
Well.
You did well, just not as good as me. Mario was 9-7, and Josh struggled. I think you were like 6-10.
7-9. That's fine.
Okay, 7-9. Whatever. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But that was it. It was a good week for me. I had to struggle the week before.
Yeah. Josh, just side comment. Any more lip from Dave, the nursing home? Let's throw him in a year earlier.
Dude, I can't tell how heartbroken I'm. Keenan Allen's not playing this week. Like, I'm like, there's $700 riding on the table, and now you just tell me Keenan Allen's not playing this week. Son of a gun. It's not good for me.
Well,
hey, what are you
guys,
gonna do?
there are a point. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
All right. Saints Rams, first one, Thursday Night Football. All playoff implications on the line. Rams 4-point favorites over under 45.5. Josh, what do you think?
Where's the game at?
In LA.
I got the Rams. I think Rams are one of the hottest teams in the league. Saints suck. I put this tweet out, and I totally mean this wholeheartedly. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about something nice that Derek Carr does every year to like make us all forget that he sucks at playing quarterback. Like I'm happy he's a great guy and he gets people Rolexes and cars and whatever. He can't play quarterback, and that's the only thing I care about. I've got the Rams to win and to cover.
Well, I'm with Josh. I'm not a Derek Carr fan. It's funny, when he went to New Orleans, I thought maybe playing a really bad schedule. Remember the Saints didn't have anyone on the schedule as a playoff team from last year. I said, don't be shocked that the Saints run the table and possibly go 17-0. Not even close. Saints have been one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL this year, and Derek Carr stinks. Like, as much as I want to say he's not an NFL quarterback, the craziest stat I heard today about Derek Carr, that he beats Justin Fields in every single stat. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. That's even possible. I think the Rams are playing really good football right now. Shocking. I'm looking forward to tonight's game of watching the Rams and Saints. Going Rams.
I'm looking forward to this too, and I already bet this. So Rams -4. Yeah, Saints suck. Derek Carr, start your own eyeliner if you want to make any more money. So I think you should just go that route. Bengals Steelers in an AFC North showdown. This is in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin getting, I guess, a little hot. I think people just maybe are ready for a change over there. Saw something about that today. But Bengals 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers. Josh, what do you think here? Because I think I'm in love with Cincinnati in this spot.
I am too, man. Jake Browning looks pretty good in these games. The Bengals look like they're definitely not giving up on the season. The Mike Tomlin thing's interesting. We got a lot of comments on our last show about if he was possibly fired, where would he be on your list? He'd be number 1. Mike
Yeah,
Tomlin would
me
definitely be
too.
number one. He is everything the Chargers need, but I like the Bengals to win and to cover.
I'm with Josh going Bengals as well as far as Mike Tomlin goes. I'm a huge Mike Tomlin fan, always have been. The fact that the guy makes the playoffs every year, you can't put any of the Steeler problems on Mike Tomlin. I'm sorry. Kenny Pickett, I don't think is a true star quarterback in this league. When the Steelers say they're sold on him, I don't understand it at all. He's not playing in this game. Jake Browning's proven, I think, that he might be a starting quarterback in this league, just probably not for Cincinnati. You don't want to waste a starting quarterback as your backup. But I like Jamar Chase isn't playing in this game, but I like the Bengals in this one. Mari, I'm with you. I would bet money on this game.
Yeah, I really like Cincinnati. I really like him a lot in this one. Plus two, like Zach Taylor's. I thought he was overrated coach, but it turns out he's a really good coach, and they're just kind of hitting at the right time. And Tomlin, I would agree with you, Josh. Number one on my list if he becomes free agent. Colts Falcons, disgusting line. Falcons 2.5-point favorites at home against the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I have no freaking idea why, because Desmond Ritter could not. Oh, it's not Desmond Ritter. I'm sorry, it's Taylor Heineke's starting in this one, so it's not Ritter, but Ritter blows anyway. So make sure everybody knows that Desmond Ritter sucks ass. But Josh, who do you have here?
Desmond Ritter does suck ass, and he wasn't that good at Cincinnati. I like the Colts. I think Gardner Minshew's actually better than Taylor Heineke. I actually don't mind Taylor Heineke. He should have been the quarterback for the remainder of the season a while ago because Desmond Ritter is not it. But I like the Colts to cover.
I'm with Josh. I like the Colts too. The thing that scares me is I'm shocked the Falcons are favored, which when you see a weird line like that, usually they're going to be the team that covers. Like, it doesn't make any sense. This line doesn't make any sense at all to me. I can't figure it out, but I'm going Colts, even though that line is bizarre as hell.
It's bizarre. I'm going Colts as well. I mean, it's really, really bizarre. Maybe I get Pittman's questionable, so I think maybe that plays into it. But Pittman should not have that big of an effect. He's a very mid receiver, so I don't really get that one. And I'll take Steichen as an underdog, every single time. Seahawks Titans is next one. This is in Nashville. Titans are 3-point dogs against Seattle.
I'm gonna go Titans in this game, just because the game is in Nashville. I think the Seahawks aren't very good. I watched them win that game the other day. I wasn't extremely impressed or anything about anything that they do. I like the Titans.
So Mario, just to make sure, you said Seattle's favored by 3.5?
3.
Oh, 3. Okay. It's tough, man. Tennessee plays better at home. Derrick Henry said this week that he thinks the end of the road, his time with the Tennessee Titans is coming to an end. The Titans are a tough team to get a read on, right? It's hard to figure out what they're going to do. Man, this is a really tough game to pick. Josh has the Titans. I tell you what, I'm going to, I'm going Titans as well. I was going to go a different way, but I'm gonna go Titans as well.
Put me down for the 12th man for the Seahawks. Okay. Geno Smith comes back. I think that's extra boost. This team's kind of riding pretty high. I just don't know how much left the Titans have in the tank that they really want to play for. So I think the Seahawks kind of come away in that one. The next one is an NFC North battle. Same point spread. Lions 3-point favorites in Minnesota against Nick Mullins and the worst tush push of all time, Minnesota Vikings. So Josh, authority to you, my friend. And do you believe in the tush push?
I only believe in it when the Eagles do it. It seems like the only team that can perfect it. I got the Lions to win this game. This is the first time they played this year on December 24th. It's going to be the first time these two teams play. I'll go Lions just for the fact that they haven't played each other yet, and I think they're a much better team, and I don't believe in backup quarterbacks for the most part.
Yeah, Lions play really bad on the road, which is weird. I mean, except for that Chiefs game in game 1, the Lions have not played well on the road. I'm going to go Lions only for the reason this is an indoor game. That's it. I'll go Lions. I don't have faith in the Vikings offense.
Stole the words right out of my mouth. It's literally just because it's in the dome. In the dome, they need it bad. And I really think Nick Mullins is not that good. I don't think this Vikings team's that good. I do think O'Connell is still a very good, not very good, good head coach. That's getting a little screwed up in a tight spot. Commanders Jets. This is a game, if it's on your TV, you should probably do something better with your life. So Jets 3-point favorites against Washington Commanders, over under 37. I'd still probably take that under because this game's going to be uglier than hell. No
Where's the
Aaron
game at?
Rodgers if you thought he was going to play. This is in New York.
Okay.
So what do you guys think?
And it's three. You said 3 points.
3-point
Sorry.
favorite, New York Jets.
Okay. I'm gonna go Commanders.
I'll go. Yeah. All right. Same. This is actually
Okay.
yeah, it's a rare situation. Hold on, real quick. Between these two teams, you have the 32nd ranked defense with the Commanders against the 32nd ranked offense with the Jets. So
No,
something
sorry.
has to give. I like.
Something's got to give.
Yeah, I like the Commanders.
Go ahead,
Dave.
Mario. What did you say? Defense wins championships. What are you gonna go?
Jets, Jets. Ron Rivera is an idiot. I mean, that guy's lost. He's lost as hell. He has no idea what he's doing with that team. I think the Jets defense is going to take it over if they win. It's going to be like 10-3.
Yeah, it's an under game for sure.
Who do you take? Did you say already?
I took Commanders.
Oh, Commanders. All right. I'm sorry. I must have missed that one. Auditory processing at its finest. Packers Panthers for next one in Carolina. The Packers are 4.5-point favorites against the Carolina Panthers. Who do you guys kind of have in this one, and why is this the worst game on the board?
I like the Panthers to cover. I don't know if they win this game, but I think they cover. This is a horrible game, like you said. I'm definitely not going to be watching, but I think Panthers cover.
I'm going opposite of Josh. Going Packers in this one. And honestly, I'd watch this game before I watch Commanders and Jets.
I'd watch it just to be like, yeah, I'm still right about Jordan Love not being that great. I really don't know who to. This is like, I would never take either of this spread, even if you put a gun to my head and my future kids. Like, I just wouldn't.
Jeez.
Like, I don't. Because I hate them, I'm gonna go Packers. Because I hate them, and hopefully this bounces the other way and they lose. So put me down for Packers, and then put me down for victory if they lose. So either way, I'm happy. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat the demons. All right, Browns, Texans. Texans 3-point underdogs at home. I think CJ Stroud's still questionable, so you're gonna get Davis Mills in this matchup versus Joe Flacco. But Browns 3-point favorites on the road against Houston.
I mean, it all rides on if CJ Stroud plays in the game. I'm just going to assume he's not playing.
He's not.
And I'll
he's
go
not playing.
Yeah, I'll go Browns. I guess. So disappointing that you don't get to see the starting quarterbacks match up. You've seen that a lot the last few weeks. I think there's 3 really good games this weekend. I would have said this would be one of them if CJ Stroud was playing, but he's not. So I'll go Browns.
I'm going Browns as well. And CJ Stroud wanted to play in this game. I mean, it's Browns TV. Would be all those people in Ohio that watch him in Ohio State getting a chance to watch a CJ Stroud game. Unfortunately, another concussion. Going Browns though.
Simpatico going Browns. Joe Flacco has a last-minute scoring drive that reminds us that he's elite and that he won a Super Bowl. And then we once again wonder on Tuesday why the hell he's in the NFL. Next one's Jaguars Bucks. 2-point favorite. This is my second favorite bet, by the way. I think
who's the favorite?
Bucks are 2-point favorites.
Oh wow.
You go first, Mario.
I really love the under in it. I thought it was going to be a side, but I love the under. I think it's going to be such an under game. Jags defense is pretty good. I think Baker's going to come down to earth this week. Trevor Lawrence is in concussion protocol, I'm pretty sure right now. And even if he's in there, dude, he's not playing well at all. Like, he's looked very, very, very bad. I like the under a lot. If I had to pick a side in it, though, it's Bucks. Bucks at home in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was looking at Trevor Lawrence and wondering, like, what the hell happened to him? I thought he's going to have a breakout season. And then I was looking, who's his quarterback's coach? That guy must suck at his job. It's Mike McCoy. And I said, oh, my God, no wonder he sucks this year. So
full circle.
That's the reason behind. Yeah, full circle. I like the Bucks.
I'm going Bucks as well. All 3 of us have the same team.
Now, this one, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that you should bet money line. Cardinals, Bears. Bears are 4-point favorites against the Cardinals. And I'm telling you guys this right now. The Arizona Cardinals are going to walk into Soldier Field and they're going to beat Chicago. I do not understand this point spread. I do not understand it at all. I do not think Chicago wins this game whatsoever, Josh.
Really? I think 4 seems like way too much. Also, Kyler Murray's going to be playing correct in this game for the
Yes.
Cardinals.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are probably a better team right now. I'd go Cardinals.
Yeah, point spread's messed up in this game. I agree with this. I'm going Cardinals as well.
All right, we're simpatico. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? How about a loss today? All right, Cowboys, Dolphins. Pretty much a pick 'em. Dolphins slightly favorite on the pick 'em. But this is in Miami. And Josh, I don't know about you, but I want to go all in, put all the chips in on Miami on this one.
Yeah, I'm confident in Miami in this. Tyreek Hill says he's going to play, which makes a huge difference. Obviously, I don't know how you deal with him and Waddle and Tua when they're hitting on all cylinders, and Raheem Mostert. I mean, we already know this is probably the best offense in the NFL. I like Miami.
I'll be watching this game. I'm looking forward to this. You talk about games you want to see this weekend. This is one I want to see. Cowboys do not play well on the road. Dolphins have had trouble against teams with winning records. Tyreek Hill's back. I like Miami in this game though. Rematch of Super Bowl 72. Mario, you remember you were when that happened.
Oh, everyone does. Everyone that's listening to this pod just stopped where they're at and go, "Oh, I remember." Everyone remembers that. So
1972, Bob Greasy, Roger Staubach. Man, it was great.
Oh, Staubach's game. God, he really popped off in that one, didn't he? Big game for him.
I hope I got the year right. I don't know if I got the year right. I just had to throw it out there just to get on you. I might have messed that one up.
Well, I hope you didn't. All right, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be really mad that are in a.
I think I did mess it up. I'm not joking. Isn't 72 Dolphins team the one that went undefeated? The Cowboys, I think, won that Super Bowl. So
it's
that wasn't the year. Go ahead.
Wow. All right, Patriots, Dolphins. Not Patriots, Dolphins. I'm confused. Patriots, Broncos. Broncos at home in Mile High. 7-point favorites in this one against the New England Patriots. What do you guys think here?
I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go.
I'm gonna go Broncos on this one. Weird stuff happened last week in that Broncos game. At the point it looked like Russell Wilson's days are numbered in Denver. You don't see coaches and quarterbacks go at each other like that, especially when it's a franchise quarterback. The last time I can remember that happening was Mike Ditka yelling at Jim McMahon. And I know, Mario, you weren't alive. Neither was Josh alive when it happened. But Monday Night Football, and anyone that's a Bears fan will remember Mike Ditka losing his mind, and then Jim McMahon going out there and throwing a deep pass to Willie Gault against the Vikings and winning the game. And the coach was wrong and the quarterback was right. Sean Payton has completely had it with Russell Wilson. But I think that blow up was embarrassing for both sides. The organization didn't like it. At the same time, I think the Broncos have something to prove and get that win and cover.
I like the Broncos. We talk about it all the time on this show that the Broncos are a different team at home. The Patriots team is the worst in the league, I think. They're bottom
Panthers.
3 team in the league. Panthers the worst team in the league. But I like the Broncos to cover. You're on mute.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, my nephew was screaming. That Jim McMahon story has been screamed at me multiple times in my life. I've heard that story so many times. What are you yelling at me? We scored. Shot Willie Gault, one of probably the best receiver in Bears history. I guess the Broncos. I think it's like 7 points is a lot for that team, and it's a crappy team. I agree with you. Patriots, second worst team in the NFL. Probably tied though for least talented. Would you say? I bet with the Panthers, probably tied for worst roster. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for that. All right, now we go on to Christmas Day, and happy holidays to you and your loved ones. So it's Raiders, Chiefs. Chiefs 10-point favorites against the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs are at home in this one. What do you guys think?
So 10-point favorites. I like the Raiders to cover. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the Max Crosby, Patrick Mahomes altercation from the show Quarterback. It's the most overblown thing on social media right now. But I like the Raiders to cover. I think the Chiefs are the most overrated team in the NFL.
I'm going Chiefs always seem to, not always, but the Chiefs find a way to win. They aren't going to blow the Raiders out. The Raiders, to me, aren't that team that gets blown out. Not with Antonio Pierce. I'm going Raiders. 10's too many points. Chiefs win, Raiders cover.
Yep. Same. Yep. Literally retweeting and liking what you just said there, Davey. All right. Next one.
You ever been in a bar and told a girl that?
What? Retweet and like
you
it?
ever been in a bar talking to a girl and go, man, you're right on. I'm going to retweet and like that. You ever
No.
use it as a pickup move? Okay, you should
I
try
mean,
it.
I don't know if I would say in that way either. Like, gosh, that was a crazy way to say that there, Dave. Keep it
Yeah,
down,
kind
brother.
of nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Danny DeVito. Taking on, he's going to Philly and hopefully just
DeVito.
spending one night there. Facing the Eagles. Big point spread in this one, ladies and gentlemen. 13.5 points. The Eagles are favored in this. What do you guys kind of think here?
See, I don't think this point spread makes any sense. Has anybody watched the Eagles play the last month? I mean, this team does not look good at all. They lost 3 in a row. I know the Giants suck, but 13 seems like a lot to me. I'm going to go the Giants to cover.
I'm gonna go Eagles. I don't know why I'm falling for it, but also all the good teams are losing 3 games in a row and they snap back into what they were. This would be loss number 4 for the Eagles. I'm going with Philadelphia to rebound against a big time rival. Going Philadelphia.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Giants. I'm just gonna go Giants. Yeah, just put me down for Giants. I'll cry later. Like I don't think the Eagles are a good enough team right now to beat any team by 2 touchdowns. I understand like their schedule has been brutal, but I think in that schedule they got beat up and their confidence has gone down. And I think the 2 coordinators that they have right now, I know there's a lot of Brian Johnson got a little hype for head coach. No one should hire him for a head coach. Any NFL player can tell you what play they're going to run before they snap the freaking football. So he doesn't deserve a job as of now. So give me the Giants in that one. The last game, the best game of the weekend, I think by far, and this could kind of tell us who the best team in the NFL is overall. Ravens Niners. Niners are 5.5 point favorites. Yep, 5.5 point favorites at home against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm a Ravens realist, I would call it. Some would say hater. I say realist. But I'm like kind of what?
Nobody hates the Ravens more than you, which is the most bizarre thing. Like I don't know what you got against Baltimore. Nobody hates the Packers more than you, but yet so you can live with yourself. You pick the Packers every week just because
Yeah.
you picked them to win, and if they win, it doesn't hurt so bad.
Yeah. I stand by everything that you just said that I do. But
Okay.
I'm actually gonna take Ravens. I'm gonna take Ravens actually right here though. I'm gonna take Ravens. 5.5 points, I think is a lot, and their defense can keep them around.
It's a rematch of Super Bowl 47, right?
Yeah. Wait, the Super Bowl
I'll-
that people actually remember, Josh, and actually happened.
the Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you said you said 5 points for the 49ers in the games
Yeah,
in San
5.5.
Francisco.
5.5.
Yeah.
5.5. Seems like too much. I think this is the best team in the AFC versus the best team in the NFC. I'm gonna go Ravens to cover.
Yeah, the Ravens do well, man, on covering these games. What do they say? It's like some crazy number where the team that was not only supposed to lose ended up actually straight out winning, like covering the spread. They actually pulled off the win, not just cover the spread. It's on Monday Night Football. We saw it with the Titans and Dolphins just recently. Happens all the time. I 100% was going to go Ravens with you guys before you guys made your picks, but to be different, I will go Niners. This is a possible Super Bowl matchup. Like, would it shock you guys if these 2 teams were in the Super Bowl again?
No, and I hate that I'm about to say what I'm about to say right now because I'm so against this type of stuff. But there's a conspiracy theory out there that they'll preview the colors of the Super Bowl before they happen during the halftime show, like the year prior, and that last year's colors were like I don't even know the whole story, but it was purple and red basically. So it's like pointing to a purple team playing a red team in the Super Bowl this year. So if that actually happens, then I'll admit like maybe there's something to this, but it could be the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I like that. I like there's someone that paid attention to that. I love
It's
that there's
embarrassing.
that. It is embarrassing. Like, let's do something better with our lives, fellas or gals, whatever it was.
There we go.
But yeah, I'll take Ravens in this one, Dave. Oh,
Okay.
we have one more. Crap.
Oh.
I almost forgot. How could I forget the Bills Chargers, the granddaddy of them all? Bills 12.5 point favorite over under 44. So pretty round robin here. Bills cover this one. Like I think without a doubt, right?
Not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. What did the Chargers have to attack the Bills? What do you do?
Cool.
You're killing
uniforms.
them more. What do you do? What are you doing to attack the Bills?
Darius
We got
Davis
that guy.
sweeps. Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, Keenan Allen's not playing. Austin Eckler's a shadow of what he used to be. Easton Stick's your quarterback. I mean, outside of soiling himself, what's Kellen Moore going to do?
Run the ball on first down.
A lot of carries for Josh Kelly. Come on.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Man, we're all three of us. We admitted we're all going to root for the Chargers like it's the most important game of the year. But at the same time, we aren't going to be shocked at what happens. The Bills have something to play for. I'm going to go with the Bills to cover. Man, I hope they don't. I hope the Chargers pull out a miracle. And at the end, I'll go, what the hell are you doing winning? When I see them drop from picking 7 to 12 or something. I'm already irritated the Chargers beat the Jets on Monday Night Football. That hurt them in the standings too.
My score prediction, I'll go 31-7 Bills.
24-3. 24-6. 24-6. Put me down for 24-6. 24-6.
I'm gonna go 30. What did you say, Josh? What was yours?
31-7.
Okay, I'm gonna go 31-10. Okay. 31-7. Marius at 24-6. Okay.
24-6.
All right. We got it on here. Ready to go. Debbie
Boom.
said because we're all sick, we're all gonna be excited to watch it and be ready to go. Just like all of you will too. Who are you kidding? What else are you doing on a Saturday night? You're gonna be watching the game. Of course, the game's on Peacock for you guys who aren't aware. Don't look for it in your regular channels. It's gonna be streamed, and you can sit and watch the game that way. Good news is we got a neighbor who big Charger fan, season ticket holder, Mario, owns a restaurant. Said, can I watch the game at your house? My wife won't let me pay the $5 a month for Peacock. And then we said, yeah, you can come over and watch the game. All right, I'll bring you food. I said, we win. Perfect. So at least we're eating good while we're watching the game. And he's going to kill me when he listens to the Bolt City podcast and hear that I ratted him out. We'll be back right after the game, like we're every single game, talking about what we saw from the Chargers. We'll see how Gift did. We'll talk about if we noticed a difference in head coaching. Was the team more motivated? Were they weren't motivated? Which players stepped up? Which guys actually played the game like they were out of the playoff picture? Also, we're going to look for a Joey Bosa sighting at some time in this game to see if Joey actually showed up to the game. Very frustrated of what's going on with the Chargers, but at the same time, things have to get better. This is the low point. We're in the valley. We got to figure it out. And I think the Chargers are on pace to figure this thing out. A lot of heat going on right now with Jim Harbaugh. I want to hear your comments on head coaches. What do you want to see the Chargers do in the comments? At the same time, please give your score predictions. We always like to see who's closest on picking the correct score. So you can follow on YouTube, leave your comments. If you listen to this show through the Bolt City Podcast Odyssey app, can't thank you enough, but we'll be back on Saturday night as soon as the game is over. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you in a couple days.